You ever build yourself a simple lake cabin just to get a taste of peace, only to have the HOA call 911 on you like you're burying nuclear waste out back? Yeah, that actually happened. Picture me, Timber Mitchell, standing on the gravel beside my half-built porch, listening to Beverly Hartwell, the self-declared queen of our neighborhood, shriek, "You can't just build a shack next to a river you don't even own." The wild thing is, she was wrong on more levels than she could imagine, because not only did I build that cabin, but as fate would have it, I also ended up owning the whole stretch of river she was so desperate to protect. Wild, right? Ever had a neighbor completely lose their mind over something they don't even understand? Drop your HOA horror stories in the comments. I'm all ears. The plan was simple. Drive my beat-up old truck down to this spot by the water, unload a pile of pine lumber, and just build myself a tiny getaway where I could work, breathe, and listen to the river the way my dad used to. See, when I was a kid, Dad and I'd spend summers out here, fishing, skipping stones, sleeping under the stars in an old army tent. He always said some things in life endure, as long as you're willing to put in the work. After he passed, the world just got loud and crowded, you know? This cabin was my way to grab hold of something real again, and every time the water rushed over those rocks, it felt like he was still there, reminding me that roots matter more than noise. I'd barely started measuring out the foundation when I heard this rapid-fire clicking of heels, sharp and insistent. Beverly, striding up in her navy blazer with that damn clipboard like she owned the place. Excuse me, she called, already in that tone you know means trouble's about to start. I'm Beverly Hartwell, chairwoman of the Clearwater Ridge Homeowners Association. What exactly do you think you're doing here? I pointed at my stack of lumber. Just building a cabin, ma'am. Simple place to work and relax. She looked at my tools like they were radioactive, like I was about to unleash some disaster. A cabin? Dear? Do you realize this is a high-end community? You can't just show up and throw up a trailer park project. We have standards. She started rattling off rules about colonial and Victorian styles, minimum square footage, absolutely no rustic cabins, blah blah blah, her voice climbing higher every time she said standards. Now, I tried to keep calm. I have the right permits, ma'am, and nobody mentioned any HOA restrictions when I bought the land. Her eyes practically glowed. You could tell she'd been waiting her whole life for this moment. Well, I'm informing you now. Rule number 1. All structures must meet our design standards. Rustic cabins are strictly prohibited. I played dumb, but inside I was already filing every word away for later. So, how does this HOA thing work? Who makes all these decisions? I do, she said, chest puffed out with pride. I'm the elected chairwoman, 12 years in banking. I know what's best for this community. She was so pleased with herself, she didn't even notice the old man stepping out from next door. You should be careful with Beverly, Bill Murphy said, shaking my hand. She's run 2 families out of here already. Beverly shot him a nasty look. They didn't fit our standards. Bill just shook his head. She fined them into bankruptcy over nonsense. Then, with all the drama of a soap opera, Beverly gave me 48 hours to clear out my junk, or she'd take legal action, spinning on her heel and stomping off like she was heading to war. Bill watched her go, then looked at me. You're awful calm for a man who just got threatened. I just grinned. Honestly, Bill, I kinda enjoy a challenge. That night, I called my attorney. Thompson, find out who owns water usage rights on this stretch. Also, see if we can quietly buy HOA voting shares from other homeowners. I want leverage. He was skeptical. That's gonna cost money. I laughed. Let Beverly keep talking. She'll make this worth every penny. Next morning, Beverly showed up with a bright red violation envelope, waving it like a battle flag. $300 a day until you remove this eyesore. I read it, raised an eyebrow. Beverly, did you design this yourself? Her face went red. This is the official procedure. I asked how many people were on the board. 3, myself, Mrs. Patterson, and Mr. Marina. I realized then just how shaky her empire really was. But the real twist? Mrs. Patterson herself strolled over, smiling sweetly, and said, Timber, I hear you want to buy HOA shares, $2,000 and mine's yours. Beverly looked like she'd been punched in the gut. You can't do that. Mrs. Patterson just shrugged. It's my share. Behind the scenes, my legal team got to work. By the end of the week, I owned the river usage rights and enough HOA shares to matter. Beverly tried to escalate, brought two big guys and a video camera to enforce the rules. I handed her my county-approved construction permits, then calmly showed Officer Brooks, who arrived to watch the showdown, the paperwork for exclusive riverfront rights. "Ma'am, these documents are legitimate," the officer told Beverly. You could see her entire world cracking as the neighbors started gathering, whispering. Beverly, not to be outdone, claimed my cabin blocked an emergency access route she created. She waved official documents around, but when the county inspector checked, he told her, right to her face, "Ma'am, these aren't real." No department signed off. Filing false claims is a criminal offense. The crowd's reaction was electric. You could feel people finally seeing the truth. Instead of pressing charges, I told everyone I just wanted peace. But the community mood had shifted. At the emergency HOA meeting I called, I revealed I'd bought 19 of 27 shares. Shocked faces all around. Beverly's dictatorship was over. I called a vote to remove fines and fees. The neighborhood erupted in applause. Beverly went ballistic, accusing me of becoming a dictator myself, but this time I let the crowd answer. "We're tired of harassment," someone shouted. I refunded 3 years' worth of illegal fees Beverly had charged for river access. The look on her face, pure defeat. She resigned, finally exposed for who she was, and as she walked away, I invited her to the next community barbecue, just to prove it wasn't personal. The change in Clearwater Ridge was instant. Kids played by the water without fear. Gardens bloomed with gnomes and sunflowers, neighbors chatted, property values went up, not down. Even the new family that moved into Beverly's old house thanked me for the welcoming atmosphere. A few weeks later, Beverly actually called me, first to argue, then, surprisingly, to apologize. "I thought my rules protected property values," she said. "People want respect, not punishment." I told her, quality of life raises values. She asked if she could ever start over. Community isn't about geography, Beverly, it's about how you treat people. You can start anywhere if you change how you treat folks. The line went quiet, and I knew that chapter was finally closed. Sitting on my cabin porch at sunset, coffee in hand, watching the kids play by the river, it hit me. Real leadership isn't about controlling people. It's about creating a place where they can actually thrive. The perfect ending? Our first River Day festival. Over 50 families came together, kids fishing, parents laughing, no drama, just real community. The best revenge against a bully isn't fighting them. It's building something better and living well. So what about you? Got a story about neighborhood power trips or HOA nightmares? Drop it in the comments. Sometimes the best way to win is to make home feel like home again.